everybody. Welcome back to episode 71 of Talk of Fame podcast with your host, Kylie Montigny. I'm so excited to have on Art and an interviewer, Victoria G. Thanks so much for coming on, Victoria.
Thank you, Kylie.
Of course. So you are an interviewer. What made you want to start doing that and being in this industry?
Well, I've always really enjoyed watching interviews of celebrities that I like and also reading them when I was younger. And I always thought, I wonder how I could become part of that somehow. But what would be the right way to go about it, kind of thing. Yeah. And I just kind of started by friending celebrities on Facebook and hoping they would friend me back. And some actually did. And I would kind of DM them saying that I want to get into interviewing, were they willing, kind of thing. And I ended up getting a pretty good response with that. And then I ended up taking a pretty long break because I genuinely just couldn't find anybody who was willing to.
Yeah.
But that was also before I discovered the wonders of IMDb Pro and all the information right there. Okay, so this is like a little holy grail of information here.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's okay, so I made a little membership with them, and then after that I started really doing well, and now I have a bunch of people who are still waiting to get theirs published.
Wow, that's awesome. Did you ever I grew up, I used to I literally asked questions to my parents to see who knew me better. So I kind of knew that I basically had journalism in my genes, but I didn't realize until a year later that I was oh, this is something I should do. But did you basically always know you basically wanted to be a little journalist in the entertainment industry? Is this something that kind of popped up for you?
For me, artist was always kind of first, and being in the industry was always first. But the interviewer aspect was something that I was always kind of nervous about at first, because if I get nervous, I'll stutter and stuff. If I get kind of nervous or whatever. So I got kind of self-conscious, and then I thought, well, there is another format that I could try, which is through typing. But then it turned from me being kind of nervous and shy to people actually like this format a lot because it's very simple for them. It's easy. They don't have to really give me too much of their time, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not up there with all the big wigs. So
yeah, exactly. I was actually a very shy girl too. So I was always self-conscious about it as well. I was how is a very shy girl supposed to do a podcast? That's not possible for a girl like me to do. And I was God, what am I gonna do? I'm bored, and quarantine's really messing me up. I'm tired of watching television every single day, all day long. I'm well, I might as well just do it. What's to lose? You know what I mean? And I was okay, well, I'll start this. And it's very hard to get people on. It really is to get people to interview.
It is, for sure. I mean, especially if you think you can get an A-lister and you keep bothering them, but you realize that you're really small, right? So what A-lister is going to want to talk to me,
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. And so in 2021, you got to be part of a short film called Noise. What was your experience filming that?
Well, at first it started off as a school project for my final for my associate's degree before I started going into my bachelor's. And a lot of people would think, okay, so it's a school project, you don't have to try so hard, right? Yeah. But I really thought, if I really try and I really focus, I could put it into film festivals and it could look really good. So I ended up really trying. It took a lot of syrup. A lot of chocolate syrup was all over the floor, because if you've watched it, you'll see how it ends. And that's not fake blood. I actually used Hershey's syrup. And that took me about 40 minutes to clean that up before my mom got home from work, so that way she wouldn't see all the mess everywhere. And the whole floor was all sticky and stuff. But besides the mess factor, I thought it was a really good experience that I had. It gave me a lot of confidence, showing that I understand everything that I've learned in school thus far. And I got an A on it too, so
it's a little plus for you and everything.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. And then when I put it into film festivals after that, it made me feel really confident that maybe filmmaking is something else that I'm good at. Okay.
Exactly. Like, did he ever accept it, like the short film or whatever, or no?
Yeah, I actually submitted it to quite a few. I'm still waiting to hear back from a good amount of them, but I've been selected for, let me think, what was the number? I think it was over 30 times already.
Oh wow,
I've
that's awesome. Oh my
been,
gosh.
so yeah,
And
so that's pretty cool.
yeah, so for you, what is the hardest part about being an interviewer in the film industry for you?
Initially it was lack of connections because
Yeah.
I was coming into it just like some little college kid, not knowing what I'm doing. And then when you kind of connect with the right people who are part of smaller agencies, you develop a nice relationship with them, and then they give you their clients, and then you go to sister companies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So initially it was the lack of connections. And then now that I would say I have a good amount of connections, now it's just keeping it consistent. Because I
Yeah.
have this thing where if I go too long without posting one, I start to feel like guilty, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same exact way. If I'm like, if I don't post for a specific amount of time, I'm like, I need help. I need to post this as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
because a lot of it is like it's not just for us, someone else is also wanting this posted.
Yeah.
So we're doing it for ourselves, also for them and for their family, for their team. And if I don't post it, all those people don't get to see it. So I start to feel bad. So at least once a day is when I try to post one. But if I genuinely don't have one to post, then I can't post something, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, every time I don't have anything to post, I'm like, whoa, like I need something to post. Like, hello, answer your message. Like I usually send out like dozens of messages like every single day.
Follow-ups are like the best part, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. It really is. So, do you have anyone that you look up to as an interviewer, or in general, do you have anyone that you look up to?
Well, there was a lot of people that I grew up watching, like Barbara Walters, Oprah
Mhm.
Winfrey, you know, just
Yeah.
to name a couple of the classic favorites, you know,
Mhm.
because I think like when it comes to interviewing, a lot of it's like having a particular style.
Yeah.
And every interviewer is going to have their style. Are they more about like fun little questions? Do they just talk about the person's work? Do they get very personal with them? I think everyone has their own style.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at the styles that I like and I take a little bit of each thing and I make my own little format.
Yeah, I'm the same exact way. I think myself like, oh, I like what this person's doing. I should really kind of get the idea of what they're doing and try to put it in my work to see how much it changes and makes an impact. But
Oh, yeah, exactly. Sure.
yeah, and you were the owner of Toast the Arts and what made you kind of want to start doing that?
Well, I was always like interested in getting into the industry for like working for a studio.
Yeah.
But while I wait to get in there, I thought, well, I could kind of start my own little business that provides artistic services that's kind of like a studio. And with that, I was able to do my short film. I had that stamped on it, which makes it look really good for film festivals also if you have some kind of a studio attached, even though
Yeah.
it's my
Yeah.
and I did it also for my cousin and I. We actually used to have a little YouTube channel called Cousin's Corner. So with that, I also produce, I guess you could say, the videos with my company. And I did some like little freelance work. I've done like little logos for people and little freelance jobs like that. So it's a very small company, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it gets bigger. And then the pipe dream is that I kind of team up with like a Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah,
Kind of
absolutely.
like
That's
what
like a dream of mine. I was like, I want to be working with Nickelodeon someday.
yeah, for sure. I mean that's my childhood right there, you know.
I know, same here. Like my whole childhood is like Nickelodeon, like Disney Channel.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And I think that was like our generation for sure. Is
Yeah.
we're all just about those nice little sitcoms and stuff. And
Mhm.
I will admit, I still watch SpongeBob and things, so I
Me
haven't grown up.
too. I watch SpongeBob on the daily.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like there are certain shows you just don't grow out of, right? Because
Mhm.
it's a classic, and if it's still funny, then what's the shame in still watching it? You know?
Exactly, exactly. So if you could interview anyone in the entertainment industry, who would it be?
Well, if anyone knows me, there's like a very extensively long checklist on my computer. I have a whole Word document
Yeah,
of
me too.
people who are like unobtainable.
Yeah.
But yet I try
I just
anyway.
was that close.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like you have like all the George Clooney's on there. You check them off. But yet they keep ignoring you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I get. I said like emails out every week saying, "Can they come on, please? Like, come on."
And it's like it is difficult because we are small, right? So we want people to kind of give us a shot, but yet can we be taken all that seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Like, can you guys take us seriously? Like, help us out here.
But if I had to like name a few people, I would say like Julianne Moore, Amy Adams, Willem Dafoe. I almost got Rob Pattinson when he was promoting Batman.
Really?
I say almost because I was in contact with Warner Brothers and it was looking really good, but then it didn't happen. But I was this close. But I'm not going to give up on that one just yet. So whenever he does another movie, I will be back. And right now, I'm currently trying to get David Cronenberg for his new movie coming out in a couple months. So hopefully that happens. So those are some
fingers
big
crossed on
people.
that one. And I remember a time where, like, I sent, I'm a huge Gina Davis fan. So I was like, I would send an email to, like, whatever, her people, whatever, and see, let's take a shot at it again. I was like, let's shoot an email. And this was like last year. And I was like, I sent an email. And then maybe a couple minutes later, I got an email saying, hi, like, have some links to your podcast or whatever. And I sent it, and I felt very confident. I'm like, this is my time. She's gonna come on now. I finally got an email back, and I never got an email back after that. So
no.
I'm like, are you really kidding me? You really got my hopes up? Like, are you kidding me?
This is what I learned. You have to be extra annoying.
Yeah.
You have to constantly bug them.
Yeah, I'm like, hello, like, are you guys still interested, or what are you guys doing?
I mean, and I think a lot of times people will say things to be nice, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be sure that it's like really going to happen. So you just have to keep being ultra pushy, but yet not so pushy where it's rude, but yet pushy enough where they can tell how passionate you are about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually kind of
basically push yourself to know you're very passionate. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is like trying to find a fine line of it, I think, and trying to figure out, you know, how much do you push before you really annoy somebody?
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm like, I want to have this person on, but I don't want to keep annoying them. Like, be like, hey, Cav, do you know them again? Like, can I please have them on for a millionth time this month? Like, I just want to know. Like, give me a number. Give me like a little timeline on what's gonna happen.
Just one question, you know?
Just one question. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes, and then I'll be out of your way. I'll be done.
Yeah, it's so simple. Just give them to us, you know?
Yeah, just give them to us. Like, come on. And so since quarantine started back in 2020, how much do you think has changed in terms of like interviewing since the pandemic started?
Well, when the pandemic started, I felt really nervous about like reaching out because I didn't want to look insensitive, I guess would be the right word. Like, okay, the whole world is literally falling apart. The last thing I should care about is interviewing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yet the whole idea keeps me sane and shows me some kind of normalcy. I'm all about having some kind of normalcy whenever the world is exploding.
Yeah.
And even if that is just talking to some people. And I think it took like 2 months off during the first 3 months of quarantine, because I was thinking, I don't want to reach out. And then what if people are kind of going through it right now or something? Yeah. So I kind of waited it out. I was stalking other outlets, both big and small, and seeing it. Hey, if they're continuing on, then I feel that it's appropriate if I do as well.
Yeah.
And then I think it was, I want to say it was in April 2020. And I ended up actually getting contacted by one of the agencies that I have a good relationship with. And they gave me this one kid, he's an actor. And I'm thinking, okay, so if I'm getting people, that means we're all still working. So I feel confident that I could keep this going. So I interviewed that one actor, and then I continued on after that. And I don't think I really stopped. I think I probably did it consistently, like one a day for a good while. I don't think I took like a whole week off during 2020. And if I did, it was like to post some drawings or something. That way people don't think that I'm dead, that I'm constantly posting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was never like a time where I was like, I never stopped. There's always episodes are coming out like every week if I have fine guests. But there's really a time where I basically took, like last year, I basically took like a whole summer off. I was like, you must need a break. I mean, I posted about like 1 or 2 episodes during the summer, but I was like, I've been doing interviews so much. I think I need a break and just kind of lay low a little bit and just do months, like summer's ending, I'll catch back up on it and just kind of relax and chill. And now ever since school started, I'm basically doing interviews every week, mostly every day, depending on the schedule. And like it's stressful. It really can be because like you're trying to figure out like what to like maintain your schedule, like time for interviews, your family, and all of these things you enjoy. It's really kind of complicated and stressful to kind of balance all these things.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think with the COVID, I mean, a lot of people weren't really sure how do you continue being a journalist, right?
Yeah.
But the way I've always done it was like it was a lot of social distancing anyway, so I didn't really have to change a format.
Yeah, exactly. Like I did like online school before. I still do online school today, but like I was doing online before COVID started, so it wasn't really new to me in terms of like schooling, I'll say. But like it's plus like I had so much time during the day. I'm like, I need something to do during the day. Like this is something I could really use as like a little hobby or something. And I didn't take it seriously. I didn't think I would take this podcast this far. And like a year later, I'm like, how is this many people already on the podcast? Like 71 people? Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's really it's like a dream that you never thought of. It really does.
That's very true. That's a very good point, I think. And also, I mean, I think with a lot of it too, the way how the world has changed so much, the format of Zoom has just really skyrocketed, not just for schooling, but even for the whole press world as well. If you think about it. I mean, if a celebrity doesn't have to leave their house, that right there is great for them too.
Yeah, exactly. This big, I'm just gonna do like a 20-minute Zoom meeting. This wear this night like a nice shirt, random pants, and then get changed after. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And so the final question for the interview is, what's some advice for younger generations that like to do a little interview one
day? Well, I still think I'm like really small and like young, but for those that are smaller and younger than me, probably to really just constantly watch interviews first.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you like the actor or not, just watch everyone's interview and observe what kind of questions they're getting asked and really look at how they answer it. Because there are certain questions that I'm sure they're just tired of being asked all the time too. Especially if it's like a press junket, they're getting asked the same thing 20 plus times. So if you want yourself and your interview to stand out, you have to think of things that maybe they're not getting asked all the time. I mean, it's such a simple question, but the first thing I always ask is whatever inspires someone to become a singer, actor, whatever it is. Because it's such a simple question, but a lot of people, they don't ask that, which you have to assume this could be someone's first interview. And they want to learn what inspired this person to pursue this. There's so many career choices. So why did you pick that? So, and the reason could be a simple little one sentence, or I've gotten paragraphs back, So it really depends on someone's style for how they type, and in my case, for how they type, or like in your case, for how they talk. Like I have a tendency to repeat a lot.
That's exactly. I always repeating what you said before.
Yeah, and then like with rapid fire questions, it's something I always knew that I wanted to add when I knew I was going to do this, because I've always thought it's kind of fun and it breaks up the whole monotony of an interview too. Because you ask all these serious questions and then you ask a few little fun ones and people know like this little random trivia about you. So the biggest advice, watch interviews until your eyes get tired.
Yeah, exactly.
don't, burn out your eyes because you need them, but
Yeah,
watch
exactly.
attending interviews, really study what people are asking. And if you genuinely love this industry and you respect this industry and you respect the people in it, really think about what you're going to ask, because you don't want to put them in a position where they're uncomfortable. You don't want to ask someone something too personal or anything like that, especially for the sake of just getting gossip, because that's not what we're doing this for.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not,
Yeah.
There are some people who probably are, but it depends on what kind of site you work for. I am 100% self-employed, so I have full control of what I ask, and I choose to go the more professional, fun route and not scare anybody.
Yeah, I was the exact way. I was like, this will be a good question to ask someone. Then think myself like, I don't want to get too personal on this person. Like that's like I want to ask. Like sometimes I'll be like, I'm dying to ask this question. Then I'm like, I'm afraid this is too personal to ask. Like I don't want this person to get uncomfortable while I'm asking.
And I mean, there are certain celebrities who are willing to answer personal questions, and that works. But I don't think I could see myself ever asking a personal question.
Yeah,
I think I would feel really bad about it.
yeah. It depends on the personal question. It really does feel depends. Like I don't answer anyone's questions no matter the question, but then at the end of the day, I might feel uncomfortable, but I wouldn't care. I'm like, if this person really wants to know about this subject, I'll answer. It's like even if I felt uncomfortable, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'd answer for you to get more about me and my life in general. Even though it does make me uncomfortable at some points.
I've never been asked a personal question, so I haven't had to skate around anything. So I'm not self-trained in skating yet. So
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like there's some questions I got asked that were like kind of like hit me. I'm like, oh god, like I can't do that. And like there were some points that I kind of felt that, but then the day I'm like, oh well, I should really answer this. I'll never got answer this question and something to learn from. And like at some point I'm like, oh god, this question, oh no. Like it really depends on the interview and the questions. It just depends on like the questions they ask.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast and jumping on, taking some time today to come on the podcast. It means so much. It was such a pleasure to speak with you.
You too.
And we'll definitely speak soon for sure. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you, Kylie.
Of course.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much. We will definitely speak soon for sure.
Thank you.
Bye.